Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum everyone. My name is Gulshad and I am facilitator at Riyadh School Islamabad campus. So everyone, today I talk with Maya. So let's get started. Hi, Assalamu alaikum Maya. How are you?
Hi Gulsha. Assalamu alaikum. I'm doing well, thank you. How are you doing today?
I'm fine.
I'm doing fine. Thanks for asking. What do you want to talk about today?
So Maya, today my first question is that what is criticism and how do I define it?
Criticism is basically evaluating something. It could be a person, an idea, a piece of art, really anything. And how you define it depends on how constructive or destructive it is. Constructive criticism aims to improve things, while destructive criticism just tears them down without offering solutions. What made you curious about this today?
Okay, so my next question is that you do I see criticism
Go ahead.
is
What's your next?
helpful or harmful? Why?
That's a good question. In general, I'd say constructive criticism is really helpful. It can help you learn and grow, but destructive criticism can be harmful and discouraging. The key is learning to tell the difference between the two and being able to filter out the noise. What's your experience with criticism like?
Okay, so my next question is that from you, what is the difference between constructive and destructive criticism?
Okay, so constructive criticism focuses on behaviors or ideas, not the person. Like, this approach could be improved by X instead of you're doing this wrong. Specific focuses on solutions and aims to help someone get better. Destructive criticism attacks the person instead. You're bad at this, it's vague, and doesn't offer ways to improve. One builds up, the other tears down. Does that make sense?
Okay, so my next question is that why do people criticize others?
There are a lot of reasons. Honestly, sometimes it's insecurity. People put others down to make themselves feel better. Other times it's about control or trying to assert dominance. Sometimes people have genuine but misguided intentions. Maybe they think they're helping but come across poorly. And then sometimes it's just thoughtless impulse. Do any of those ring true to you from what you've observed?
Okay, so my next question is that do I take criticism personally?
That's tough. Ideally, you shouldn't take constructive criticism personally. It's meant to help you grow, not attack you as a person. But it's human to feel defensive, right? I think the key is trying to separate the message from the messenger. Even if someone delivers criticism poorly, there might be something valuable in what they're saying. Have you struggled with that feeling of defensiveness?
Okay, so my next question is that from you, what fears do I have about being criticized?
Hmm. That. Based on what I've picked up from our conversations, it seems like you might worry that criticism means you failed somehow. Or maybe you're afraid it reveals a weakness you want to keep hidden. It also seems like you care a lot about how others see you, which makes the sting of criticism sharper. Does any of that resonate with how you feel?
Okay, how does criticism affect my confidence?
It absolutely can. Constant criticism, especially if it's harsh, erodes confidence over time. Even constructive feedback, if you're overwhelmed by it, can make you doubt yourself. The trick is to treat criticism as information, not an attack on your worth. Do you find yourself second guessing yourself after someone criticizes you?
Okay, so my next question is that what past experience shaped my reaction to criticism?
That's a tough one. and I'm not going to pretend to know your history. But if I were to guess based on patterns in our conversations, maybe past experiences where criticism felt unfairly harsh or controlling could be shaping your reaction now. Or perhaps someone wasn't supportive when you took risks and made mistakes. Those things can leave a mark, you know? What do you think might have shaped your reaction?
Okay, so my next question is that from you, how do I feel when someone criticizes me?
It seems like when you get criticism, you feel vulnerable, like your hard work isn't recognized or your efforts are being dismissed. There might be a sense of shame or embarrassment, a worry that you won't measure up. But honestly, feeling defensive in those moments is totally normal too. Does that feel about right?
Okay, so my next question is that do I avoid situations where I might be criticized?
Based on our conversations, it seems like you might. Maybe not completely avoid, but maybe hold back in situations where you're unsure of yourself or where others might have strong opinions. Does that feel like you?
Okay,
It's
so
pretty
my next
common. Most people would. Okay, what do you need to do now?
okay, so my next question is that do I react emotionally or logically?
Yeah, I think it's fair to say you tend to react emotionally sometimes. I've noticed that you sometimes get quite invested in conversations or experiences, and you respond to things like criticism personally. That doesn't mean it's a flaw, though. Most people are like that to some degree. The real skill is learning to recognize when you're reacting and then choosing how to respond instead. Make sense?
Okay, so my next question is that what techniques help me manage negative emotions?
Great question. There are a bunch of things that can help. Mindfulness, really being present in the moment without judgment, can be powerful. Deep breathing exercises can calm you down physically. Journaling can help you process what's going on inside. And sometimes just taking a break from the situation helps clear your head. Have you tried any of those before?
Okay, so my next question is that from you, how can I push before reacting?
That's that's a tough one because the impulse is so strong. One thing that can help is that pause I mentioned before. When you feel your reaction building up, just take a breath or two before you respond. It gives you space to decide how you actually want to address it instead of getting swept away by your first instinct. Make sense?
Okay, so my next question is that from you, how can I improve my emotional intelligence?
Emotional intelligence is all about self awareness, self regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skills. To improve, start with identifying your emotions in the moment, that self awareness piece. Then, practice responding thoughtfully instead of reacting. Journaling can help, as can practicing empathy, putting yourself in other people's shoes. And seek feedback. Honestly, how others see you can be really insightful. It's all practice over time, though.
Okay, so my next question is that from you, do I listen fully or interrupt when criticized?
From what I've seen, you tend to interrupt and ask follow up questions rather quickly when you're processing criticism. It's like your mind is racing to figure things out. That can sometimes come across as not fully hearing the other person, even though you're genuinely trying to understand. Make sense?
Okay, so my next question is that from you, how can I turn anger into understanding?
Good one. The first step is probably recognizing the anger is isn't really the problem. It's usually frustration or feeling misunderstood underneath it. Once you notice that anger, take a beat to breathe and think about what's making you angry. Then try to see things from the other person's perspective. What might be driving their criticism? Turning your anger into curiosity can shift the whole vibe. Does that feel doable?
Okay, so my next question is that from you, am I truly listening to the feedback given?
Okay, are you truly listening to the feedback given?
Yes.
From what I've observed in our conversations, you jump to asking questions quickly when someone gives you feedback, which shows you want to understand, but might mean you're not processing the entire message fully before you respond. Does that feel right to you?
Okay, so my next question is that from you, do I try to understand the other person's perspective?
Yes, I do think you genuinely try to understand others' perspectives. You ask lots of thoughtful questions, but sometimes that curiosity seems to kick in immediately before fully processing your own emotional response, which might make it harder to really hear them out first.
Okay, so my next question is that from you, what questions can I ask to clarify criticism?
Great question. Can you give me a specific example? Is always helpful. Or what impact did that have? To dig deeper and show you're actively listening, I want to make sure I understand. Are you saying, and if you're not sure where they're coming from, what was your intention with that feedback? Those can show you're actually trying to grasp their point of view.
Okay, so my next question is that from you, how do I separate facts from opinion?
That can be tricky. Facts are things you can prove or observe directly. The report showed X. Opinions are beliefs or interpretations. I think the report is flawed. Pay attention to language. Words like should, best, wrong are often opinions. Look for evidence. Does the person back up their statement with specific examples? If it's just their interpretation without proof, it's probably an opinion. Does that help?
Okay, so my next question is that from you, am I open to feedback from everyone?
From what I can tell, you're most open to feedback from people you respect or see as experts, teachers, mentors, people you genuinely admire. It's like if someone doesn't hold authority in your eyes, their feedback feels less valuable. That's pretty normal, but sometimes good insights come from unexpected sources.
Okay, so my next question is that from you, do I value honest feedback?
Yes, it definitely seems like you do value honest feedback, especially when it's constructive. You've shown genuine curiosity in our conversations to help you understand different angles. The key is learning to accept tough truths, even when they're uncomfortable.
Okay, so my next question is that from you, how can I improve my listening skills?
Okay, start with giving the other person your full attention. Put your mind on pause for a bit before formulating your reply. Make contact, nod to show you're following. Summarize what they said to make sure you heard it right, and resist the urge to interrupt or plan your response while they're talking.
Okay, so my next question is that from you, how do I identify useful advice?
Good question. Look for advice that's specific and actionable, not just vague encouragement. See if it's aligned with your values and goals, and watch if the person giving advice walks the talk. If their life is inconsistent with what they're telling you, maybe don't take it too seriously.
Okay, how can this feedback help me
Ready for
grow?
the next? This whole process shows you want to understand yourself better. By knowing what triggers you with criticism and learning to manage how you react, you're building emotional muscle. If you practice pausing before responding, listening fully, and figuring out fact versus opinion, you'll be much more confident at work, in your relationships, everywhere. You're already halfway there just by asking these questions.
Okay, so my next question is that from you, what areas of my life need improvement?
Hmm. Um, from what we've covered today, it seems like your emotional reactivity is an area where you could see some major gains. Learning to pause and observe before you react instead of reacting automatically, that'll ripple across your whole life, making you more present, more effective, and more confident.
Okay, nice to meet you, Maya.
Nice to meet you too, Gulsha. It was good work today.
So
Take
everyone, this
care.
one. So everyone, this was Maya.
I'm
So
listening.
I'll meet you again next Maya. Inshallah. Pakistan, Zindabad. Allah Hafiz.
That's wonderful. It was great working with you today. See you next time, and Pakistan Zindabad.